What's going on, everyone? This is E Coast Blacks here again for Jeddah, in the Premier tier. As you see, we are in the McLaren. Gonna do a lap here, and it's gonna be kind of a long video, longer than usual, really. So yeah, because actually a lot happened in this race. So yeah, back tight and enjoy it. Hopefully you guys enjoy it. But you see going through turn one, and two, yeah, I just didn't really feel like I did their will, but at least on my first try, I think this is my first try, because I did, just did not really feel well with the car. But as you can see here, we are, I think this was like a few minutes. Well, no, I think this was probably after my first run, it seems like. So, yeah, you see we're going through the third chicane, I believe it is. So, actually, I think that's the second chicane? Second or third. So, yeah, but we're coming up to the last one now, I believe. So, yeah, you can see we went really wide there and we invalidated, so we have to just take a cool off lap and go for it again, which is actually not good because we don't have enough battery. So yeah, but we get out the way, and I saw there was an AlphaTauri coming, so I tried to be as quick as possible, but Mert kind of got in the way there. But he's actually going to give us kind of a slipstream, so it's not going to be, I would say, too bad. But into turn one again, through turn two, it's a lot better, a lot more committed, a lot more aggressively through the turns to gain the time. And you can see here, we're going to pick up a lot of time as we were really aggressive. Well, not really aggressive, just a lot more tighter around the lap or corner. Yeah, so it was just less track distance, and that equaled up to a few hundred. And now going to the big bank corner, which is actually a good overtaking zone because there's a DRS zone right before it, so you could actually overtake through there if you want, but I wouldn't expect anyone to. But anyways, we're coming, I wouldn't say down a mini straight, but kind of like a mini straight, just with a few like curvy parts. So yeah, and now on to the final DRS straight as we try to hit the braking zone just right. We actually hit that really nice, that final corner pretty nicely. Hit it pretty tightly and got excellent traction off the corner, and we go into P3 with a 127.4, which is actually a really good banker. So I believe it was actually faster than both my tier 1 laps, so that's a really good lap. So now we're going to come to start our second lap, or at least try to start our second lap, because there were a few things going on the out lap. So going through here into turn 1 and 2 again, you can see the Delta is not really having it, but it came back up, and now we go out kind of wide, but it didn't really affect us as we stayed on track. But honestly, it just felt like there was more time left in the lap. So you can see here though, we're still trying to go for it, going through here into the big bank corner again and coming to the chicane, which is actually a chicane and I really struggle with. I really do tend to mess up the chicane a lot. It took me quite a few laps in the race to start getting that chicane I just came out of right, because I always just be getting it wrong. So now coming through this chicane onto the final DRS straight before we hit back onto the main straight. And now you see, just try to be as tight as you can to minimize distance, which is more lap time. And here you can see we've made a really big mistake, and that was pretty much the lap, because I just overcooked the corner. Yeah, it wasn't a very good sector 2 anyway, but we probably could have actually went up a few spots, so sorry about that. But you can see there is actually a couple people trying to be on the medium tires, because the medium to soft strategy here is just completely OP. So a lot of people want to start on that strat, which I was actually one, but I feel it would be better for me to try and stick with the front pack. So yeah, we chose qualifying the sauce. Probably will hurt us a bit, but I think we will be okay. So yeah, now as we load into the race, the strat is actually meant to be 12 laps on the sauce, because I knew since the pit road's so short, they're not really going to gain much time, to be honest, is what I felt. So I thought I could kind of extend. So that was the plan. That was the plan to do. So as you can see here, I felt this race was going to be really chaotic, but you can see 5 laps are out and we're underway, and I think we got a pretty decent start, but we're just kind of blocked in. So you just kind of have to take your time going through these first 2 turns. And you can see here, we didn't make up any spots, but I mean, we tried to. So yeah, you can see now Charlie had a little bit of a hiccup, but so we kind of had to get out the gas to just not run into the back of him and not get wing damage. But we get kind of understeer and we get the warning there. So 1 warning already in this race, which is not what you want around Jeddah. You want to go as long as you can around Jeddah without getting a warning, because you never know if you can get a warning. But you see here, we completely overshoot the corner, so you kind of just have to go off track and pick up that time back. But we don't get a warning, thankfully, so we are okay. Now into the final chicane down the last DRS straight. We're going to try just to stay with Charlie, try to build a bit of a gap, but I'm also trying not to use up too much ERS. Well, I do actually do it the first 3 laps, because it's actually, I felt like going to be okay when we get back in the DRS, because we'll be able to recharge it. So I'm not really too worried about that. Honestly, as you see the Alpha and the Haas battling behind me, Fruitful and Bowles. So yeah, moving on, you can see now on lap 3 we actually got another warning. So now we're on 2 warnings just in 3 laps. And now Fruitful is behind me, but we're actually gonna let him go. But then I realized the DRS to Bowles, and I knew I couldn't let Bowles get in the DRS. So you can see here, I completely messed up the braking zone and just run into the back of the AlphaTauri. And yeah, my plan was not to battle Fruitful. I was just trying to keep the Haas out of DRS, and I completely overshot it. But yeah, I mean, the Haas probably was going to get it anyway, so I guess it really didn't matter. But yeah, completely on me. So The spin cost us there as we now go behind, I believe, Aiden, Calcis, and Cali Rob and Rusty. But we're going to get back in front of Rusty using DRS and ERS. And now we have to try and get back into the DRS of Cali Rob, which we are going to use all our battery for to do, because we need to make sure he does not get away. So yeah, you can see here we're just actually absolutely on the batteries. We set a purple sector 2. I was trying everything, and I think at the detection zone, as you can see, yeah, we did get DRS, so that was absolutely huge. But I'm still not really in the 1 second range again. But now, since they had that they kind of got compromised on the entry, I can gain all that time back, and now I can start saving the battery again. But you can see here again, these guys were actually really these guys were actually really battling very hard. And you can see here, Cali Rob went very wide, and we peeked to the inside, but he didn't leave room, so we just decided to back out of it because, you know, we didn't want to crash something there. But there is spin, and I think that is, yeah, it's Victor and Ashton. And now, as you see, Cali Rob lets us by because he passes in that yellow flag, which means he got an illegal overtake. So he had to let us back by, which was good for us. And now we hit, you see there, we hit the wall, and that could have been our final warning, because you actually can hit the wall into a warning, which is just insane here, you know. So you really have to, it's almost like Monaco. You just have to be on your game. But you can see Cali Rob goes by, and now he is going to head into the pits. And you know, I wasn't really bothered by that. I thought, you know, this was okay. And you see here, gonna go no out. But now I'm gonna use the DRS to, and now, yeah, you know, you see I did put on the battery a bit to try and get back in the DRS of Calcis, just to stay with him and use him to kind of drag me along. And I felt this was a really big part of the race, because it's going to be pretty hard for me to keep up with him. As you see there, didn't really get that turn really good, so I have to just push it so hard through sector 1, and we barely get in the DRS. So basically right now we're not able to save any ERS at all, because I don't know if he's pushing or the soft tires are just dead at this point, but I'm pretty sure it's probably both. So you can see we set a personal best in sector 1, but we are still trying to push to stay in the DRS. And now the gap is about over a second, so now we have to push again to get back in the DRS. And now we are back in it, but going through here, we're out of it because we weren't in below 1 second at the detection zone, because the detection zone is actually after the chicane, or kind of like in the middle of the last turn of that chicane. So you kind of have to make sure you get a really good chicane there. But luckily we get back in the DRS. So you can see the deployment's gone. I have no deployment left because I had to use it to stay close, but we're gonna get some DRS on the main straight to kind of zoom up to him. But now I think the mediums are probably the best tire, because he got 1 second going through there. So you see the tire icon is up. So I knew at this point he pretty much had me, and there's really nothing I could do. If I didn't get DRS right here, there would be nothing I can do. And you can see I did not get DRS because that white line we passed entering that corner was a detection zone, and I didn't get it. So I knew now was just pit. I did what I wanted to do. The leader is actually right behind me, so I just decided to go into the pits and, you know, just get the fresher tires on and go from there. So we pit, get the fresh tires, and now you see Aiden and Cali Rob going by now, and we are just now going to go full speed. Victor actually got by as well, so yeah, hopefully we can stay with him. So now, as you can see, into this chicane again, the gap is 1.2 seconds. So now we have to push to get back in this DRS, and you can see I already know their entries are going to be compromised because they are racing each other. So that should help me get back in the DRS, as Rusty actually got a pretty bad turn, and now he is going to pit as Victor doesn't have any ER or DRS in space, so that should allow us to cruise up to him as we do. And I think we have fresher rubber than all 2 or 3 guys in front of us, so because there is actually a Haas, probably a Haas we should be around. I felt like we should probably be in the main group with the speed we have, but you know, I just messed up into the corner. But you see Victor makes a big mistake, and I actually didn't want to get held up in this sector 1 because I need to stay as close as possible with Cali, Rob, and Aiden, and you can see they are battling, but I don't have any DRS, and Victor's gonna go for the move here, but you can see he's to the bottom of the track, so it's just gonna cost us some time there. As you can see on the Delta, it cost us about probably 2-3 tenths, but Victor actually had really good pace, so we were able to. He was able to get in the DRS, and you know he definitely had the speed, and you know, I'm just trying to keep up with him, stay in his DRS, that way I don't lose these guys, because you know there's a lot of people with penalties in front of me, so I actually could be able to get some spots here. As you see, Calcis was in the pits for the soft tires, and I believe now he is just out right behind us. He's literally right behind us. You can see here, we're actually battling into the bank corner. I was gonna let him by, and because I thought that would just be the right thing to do, and yeah, you see now going through here, just gonna let him by, not gonna fight him. It just makes more sense to let him go and do his own thing. So you know, he's gonna pretty much get held up a bit here, so, and he can actually drag this train along with his soft tires, because he actually did soft tires actually don't feel all that too good after like lap 8 or 9 and then 10, or lap 9, 10. But you can see here Charlie DNF, and there the safety car has also. Yeah, now it's a safety car. But you also saw Cali, Rob, Aiden, and Calcis, I believe, going 3 wide in the turn 1. So that actually worked out pretty nicely for Calcis. I bet he wished he win another lap, but we're gonna put the softs on, and you know, try to get all the positions we can. Because I feel our soft pace was really good with the tire deg. So as you see here, we just barely missed out getting the Haas, which would have been really big for us, but still all good. Still do this thing. So we come out behind the 2 Haas's, and now as we come to the green, I'm going to try and put Aiden under attack. You can see here, but
green flag.
Yeah, I already knew he was going to defend, and I didn't want to have a crash in a turn 1, so we're just going to chill. It's sent back, but the plan was to actually fight him into turn 1, but I just kind of felt like it wasn't going to be the right choice. But we're coming into the final chicane, and you can see here I'm actually using the battery because I want to be closer just in case I get a really good chicane, and we actually get a very good chicane. So now we're going to put Aiden under attack, and he has to use the ERS, get the slipstream from his teammate, and we are still getting the slipstream from Aiden now Bowles, and now we're going to go 3 wide, and we're going to take the spot, but Bowles is still fighting it, so we now have to use a lot of our battery to stay ahead, because I did not think he was actually going to fight it. As you've seen Cali Rob now have a front wing gone because he actually hit the wall in front of us. But we made the move. Now you can see here in a direct cut that the 3-wide move we did, which I was expecting Bowles to block the inside, but he actually didn't do it, and we were expecting him giving us the space. But you can see the leaders are actually way ahead, and I believe you'll see Cali Rob, yeah, there, hit the wall. So yeah, it's just kind of starting to open itself up for us. But you can see now Adri is right in front of us in the Williams, and now he's gotten by Victor. And I didn't expect Victor to really race us, but because he had 6 seconds, so I thought he would be kind of chill about it. But at the same time, he probably thinks there's people he can get to, because there are people around with penalties. But we're gonna try and get by Victor here, because I actually don't want to lose Adri, because I think he does have some pretty good pace on him. So we get the DRS, and now we're gonna just zoom by as Adri gets by Calcis. But and thankfully Victor didn't go for this move. But you can see here, Adri is within, I believe, DRS of another car, so that kind of just helped them drag away from me. But you can see here, we just barely tapped the wall, so we gotta actually don't use DRS. I thought I was going to, but you see checking for damage and everything is good. That was the second time we hit the wall, as there is another virtual safety car. And now moving on to the end of it, we are still within the DRS zone of Calcis, coming to 2 laps to go, which I didn't want to overtake him. If I overtake him, I wanted to be on the white flag. So yeah, as now we're on 2 laps to go, we're coming to the white flag. You can see now I'm going to pull kind of a Verstappen here. You can see I turned my DRS off because I don't want to overtake him yet. As I can see, he's light flashing and coming off the final corner. We're going to put the DRS on because I think he is actually using, but I actually kind of waited a long time to put the DRS on. I think because I didn't want Victor to go by, but we are going to go by and set the Calcis because he was actually really able to keep up in the sector 1. I think he probably didn't make a mistake at the end of it, or a dirty air just caught him, but he was actually really able to keep up. But now I'm thinking, okay, let's just try and get as big of a gap as we can. I got pretty decent ERS, so I should be able to push a bit. But we actually did nail sector 1 very nicely, but so did Calcis, so he's still 4 tenths behind us now, having the DRS, so it helps him push a bit more. But I can see 10 bars gap is 1.4 seconds, so I'm actually trying to push to get in his DRS, but I make a mistake here. So now I know now I'm not going to be in DRS, and I knew Calcis was going to use ERS down this little mini straight. I'm looking at the delta right now, and I know he's going to use it, but I can't use it because I don't want to have no battery on the next 2 straights. So now we're going to use it. And you can see here, Victor's actually fighting Calcis, so we're actually going to try and block Calcis in, but he's actually going to go 3 wide. He's not having none of that, so we're actually going to leave the space and come out to the corner. We back off for DRS on Victor. Calcis makes a mistake, and now we're going to edge out Victor because he did not get DRS. So that really, really, really helped us there, you know, blocking Calcis in and having to make him kind of a compromise line. We did make a bit of contact, but you can see here he just tried to put the power down and messed up, and you know, he wasn't too happy about Victor, but I don't think he's going to be, you know, pissed about it. You know, it's you know, he's whatever. It wasn't a podium or anything, so I don't think he'll be too mad. But that is P4 in this race, and it could potentially be P3, as Fruitful was reported after the race, but I can say he did not get a penalty. Just some license points, no penalty points, as he's also driver of the day. So yeah, he just got penalty points. I think he cut the track on the last lap to stay ahead, and the stewards just saw that as unsportsmanlike, but not worth time penalty, which I kind of did agree with, but I was kind of hoping you would get it, but yeah, he didn't get it. So Fruitful still P2, Kachow P3, and Adri wins the race. So we were actually like 1.4 seconds behind, but yeah, we just lost him. So yeah, but that's it for me. You guys already saw the tier 1 race, so I hope you enjoyed that. So yeah, we technically probably could have got second on track. I wouldn't say we technically got second, but you can see we probably needed those guys to get one more penalty, just one of those guys to get one more penalty to get the podium. But that's it for me, Ecos Black. See you guys later. Have a nice day.